We are saying we want one that does not bring the baggage and the toxic conversation of North versus South. We do not want a conversation that is going to take us to developing versus developed, emitters versus non-emitters. No. The rest of us from the African continent, we've always been in the corner of problems and victimhood. We don't want to be in that corner anymore. We want to be at the table where we are all looking for solutions. That is why we are in this conference. We have not come here to complain to anybody. We've come here because we want to look for a solution. We want to come up with a win-win. How are we going to arrive at a win-win? We already have suggestions on the table. Let us have a global financing mechanism. Loss and damage will not do it. I'm sorry. It will not do it because loss and damage is hostage to national interest. No nation is going to give money from its people to sort out a global problem. Because in a contest between national interest and global good, national interest wins in the morning. That's it. So what we did, and that is why we are not making progress ever since Paris in 2015, is because we had a global consensus on a global problem called climate change, but we tried to go and sort it out. We tried to sort it out using national institutions that are hostage to national interest, or we tried to use shareholder institutions that have shareholders who will make the decision finally. So we must get a new financial architecture around climate financing. We do not want to be the business of the Europeans. We want a global financial transaction tax where even us from the African continent, we pay. We want to pay. We do not want others to pay for us. So that once we raise the money globally, once everybody pays, if it is 1%, let all of us pay 1%. So that we can sit at a table, so that there are no shareholders. When IMF and World Bank were created in Bretton Woods in 1945, Kenya did not exist. It was only 44 countries then. Today, we have 190 countries. We want to contribute so that we can sit on the table and make the decisions so that we are not paying 8% more than others. Let us agree to pay the aviation tax. We have no problem. Let us agree on the shipping tax, and we want to pay. We don't want anybody to pay for us. We want to pay our percentage. It is only when we raise global finances that have no national interest for any particular country or shareholder interest of any person. That is how we are going to sort out this global challenge. Many people ask, so who is going to collect this money? So how is this going to happen? And let me dare say the following. After the Second World War, 44 countries, 740, I think 44 delegates sat in a small city called Bretton Woods. The World Bank and IMF did not exist. They created it in 3 weeks. The agreement was done in 3 weeks. Why is it difficult for us? Because the whole of Europe had been destroyed. And so it was urgent and it was important for a decision to be made. Are we saying the crisis that we are going through, including what we just heard from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, is not serious enough for us to agree on a global financing mechanism that sorts out climate change as a problem that is affecting all of us? Are we saying ever since 1945, we have become stupid? Is that what we are saying? Or we have become less human, that we have no more feelings about what's going on? And many people are saying maybe we should do this incrementally. Maybe we should. Let me finally put this in context. The Bretton Woods institutions were agreed in 3 weeks. The UN that we today celebrate was a conversation by 50 countries in 2 months. Because it was necessary, because there were leaders that wanted and had the capacity to make decisions. Are we saying that we are incapable of making the decisions that are required of us as leaders in the context of where we are today? I dare say, between Paris and Nairobi, we have more than 3 weeks that were necessary to form the World Bank and IMF. We have more than 2 months that were necessary to agree on the UN Charter. We have actually 3 months. So my expectation is that we will agree in Paris and we will conclude in Nairobi. You asked me about my expectation. That's my expectation, that we will put this together. And please, for heaven's sake, we want a win-win outcome. We are tired of the blame game, finger pointing, north versus south. In any case, on this subject of climate change, there is no developed, there is no developing. We are all in trouble. And let me finalize by saying the following. And that is why it is necessary and urgent for us to make the decision now, is that we are not in the right trajectory. When we agreed in Paris in 2015 to reduce emissions by 45% by 2030, what has happened? Today, Europe has done very well. You have reduced emission by 25%, by 20%. OECD countries have done well. You have reduced emissions collectively by 12%. But because the rest of the world don't have the money to do it, emissions have gone up elsewhere by 37%. So what happened to the 20% down in Europe? And what happened to the 12% down in OECD? Nothing happened, because overall, on average, the emissions went up by 17%. So we are not doing well. We are not going in the right direction. We are going backwards. So it is urgent that we all agree on how to go forward. And why specifically do we need to target taxing fossil fuel? Because it is the fuel, it is what is contributing 73% of all global gas emissions that are causing trouble in our globe. That's why we must go there. And that is the difficult conversation we must have, and we must have it in this Paris meeting and summit. Thank you very much.